What's going on, everyone? John Matrix here. Hope you're all having yourselves a wonderful day. Hope all of you guys who celebrated had a wonderful Thanksgiving with your friends, families, and loved ones. I know I've gained a couple pounds of turkey in me, and I've had enough to last me for the year. But we're gonna be jumping into the SCP universe here today with the requested video. This is gonna be SCP-2171 Autumn Shepherds, humanoids composed of leaves who protect the trees. It's a requested video by one of the members of the community, so we're going to be jumping into this here today and checking this out. Links will be down below, as always, to the original video about my commentary and reaction, and to the East Side Show SCP channel. So you please do me a favor, click those links if you enjoyed this video, go give it a like, and if you enjoy the content the East Side Show SCP puts out, show the man some love and hit that sub button on his channel. With all that said, let's jump right into it here. Monitor on, let's go. Object class safe, secure, contain, protect.
Item number SCP-2171. Object class safe. Special containment procedures. All areas affected by SCP-2171 are to be placed under permanent video surveillance and/or botanical field supervision, on a case-by-case basis. New instances of SCP-2171 should be subject to a thorough botanical analysis and, when necessary, restored through environmental engineering operations conducted by Containment Task Force Road 6, Green Gale.
So, I mean, like, I've never heard of this SCP before, to my knowledge anyway. It's possible that, I just haven't recognized the number, and it'll click when we get more into this, but the only thing that's making me think of this is like the tree ants from Lord of the Rings, the like protectors of the forest. That's what this makes me think. That's basically like the SCP tree ants or something.
Personnel. During seasonal autumn and until the demanifestation of all SCP-2171-1 entities, areas affected by SCP-2171 are to remain closed to all civilian transit. Description: SCP-2171 is a seasonal phenomenon involving the fallen leaves of all deciduous trees rooted within the confines of certain areas, henceforth the area.
So it happens during autumn when all the leaves essentially fall off the trees, and these SCP creatures come to life to then, I guess, guard the trees during the autumn and winter months, and potentially go away during spring. I'm assuming that's what's happening.
There seems to be no specific pattern that may be used to predict the potential occurrence of new locations of interest affected by SCP-2171.
Interesting.
Reference SCP-2171 Maps, LOI 2171-number. Leaves fallen within the area during seasonal autumn will invariably form large piles that will remain unaffected by local weather until all deciduous trees are completely defoliated. Piles of leaves affected by SCP-2171 will slide slowly, forming windrows of varying width. These SCP-2171 windrows will eventually manifest instances of SCP-2171-1 at the front end. SCP-2171-1 are humanoid entities composed entirely of SCP-2171 affected leaves that appear to guide the SCP-2171 windrows.
What?
SCP-2171-1 entities are fragile but capable of movement, yet apparently impervious to hostile weather conditions. SCP-2170.
So they it's like leaves that come alive once they fall off the trees, and then they protect the trees from harsh weather? That's what it sounds like.
71-1 emit repetitive vocalizations that may involve speech in various languages. See
and they can talk? And we have talking leaves?
Addendum 2171-02, and have a tendency to hook dried leaves on tree branches across the perimeter of SCP-2171 areas, or string leaves between trees that delineate this perimeter. Given their behavior, SCP-2171-1 instances are currently believed to be sapient. However, SCP-2171-1 instances will only react when the integrity of the SCP-2171 windrows they grow from is compromised in any way.
This makes me wonder, is this like some kind of like fey magic, left over or something like that, like the Fae created these entities to help protect the trees in their homes during winter, or to help protect, potentially other creatures that hibernate during this time of the year. I don't know. Interesting. But that's just this is where my brain goes. Is it like a Fae thing, Fae magic?
SCP-2171-1 will react violently against any element disrupting the SCP-2171 windrows. Such reaction will include various vocalizations in a much lower pitch. See
Literally leaves saying, "Get off my lawn!"
Addendum 2171-02. A considerable growth in size by drawing mass from the SCP-2171 windrow to which the entity pertains, and persistent attempts at enveloping the disturbing element in a thick cover of SCP-2171 affected leaves. Once covered, the element will appear to dematerialize, being replaced by a similar volume of fallen leaves. SCP-2171's anomalous properties will typically disappear after 2 or 3 days of continuous activity. SCP-2171-01 Environmental status and locations of interest affected by SCP-2171. Special SCP-2171 Report 2. Area 08 RARP and Archival Personnel, Pertinent Level 5 Personnel. From Row 6 Field Commander.
Long-term analysis of the areas affected by 2171 has confirmed the anomaly seems to cause previously unforeseen anomalous effects in the area it affects. So over the long term, long time, however, years, I would assume, being that this is only something that happens during the autumn time of the years, the anomaly seems to cause previous unforeseen anomalous effects in the area. So it causes more anomalies. Like, what does it like make? Are they saying it's like making more of them? It's reproducing. It's spreading through the trees, and each year there's more of them in these specific areas. They spawn in. Like, what does that mean?
Reference: Environmental consequences of SCP-2171 anomalous effects. Long-term analysis of areas affected by SCP-2171 has confirmed that the anomaly seems to cause previously unforeseen anomalous effects in the area it affects, such as the local degradation of previously existing fauna and flora. This degradation most likely occurs due to the effects of SCP-2171-1 in the indigenous populations of animal species in the LOI-2171, which is causing a loss of biodiversity in the larger affected locations.
So they're driving animals away, is what it sounds like. Degradation most likely occurs due to the effects. Local degradation of previously existing fauna and flora. And the indigenous population of animal species, which is caused. So it seems like he had mentioned, these windrows, when they get disturbed, these 2171-1 anomalies get pissed off and they try to chase things away. So they're probably scaring animals away. They might be destroying other plant life in the area to preserve themselves. So it's disrupting biodiversity in these forested areas. That makes me wonder if, how every so often, I don't know how many years it occurs, but, every so often they go out and like forest rangers and park rangers and various places will create controlled wildfires, essentially, to burn away a lot of the underbrush to allow plants to grow and stuff. That's actually kind of like an SCP cause. Keep these things under control, The
manifestation of anomalous flora of unknown origin. See Addendum 2171-02 for a basic reference of anomalous plant life related to SCP-2171 manifestations. See Document 2171/Row-6-10 for a more comprehensive list, including all known SCP-2171 related species. The progressive substitution of local soil materials. Substances atypical to the local parent material tend to appear in affected areas. Among these substances, various calcite and quartz-derived crystals are usual in most locations. These materials do not demonstrate anomalous properties of their own. The absence of any other anomalous
substances atypical to local parent material tend to appear infected. Among these substances, various calcite and so like quartz crystals are being created out of these substances, like well, parent material tend to appear in affected areas. Among these substances, various calcite and quartz crystals are usually most of these materials do not demonstrate anomalous properties of their own. It's weird that it's a byproduct. Like, what do these things like poop out crystals or something? Like, that's kind of strange.
activities in the SCP-2171 affected area. According to the Foundation records on those LOI-2171 historically affected by local anomalous events, such events disappeared entirely in all regions affected by SCP-2171, with the exceptions of SCP and SCP. This remains an unexplained issue, and thus a high priority for the Reality Alteration Research Program, based on Area 08, both to improve SCP-2171's containment and the possible exploitation of this effect. SCP-2171's containment procedures have been adjusted to address these anomalous properties. Addendum 2171-02 Registered Vocalizations from SCP-2171-1 Extract. A log of recurring SCP-2171-1 instances and their vocalizations follows. Recordings of SCP-2171-1 vocalizations usually register as indistinct sounds of rustling leaves. Therefore, this log is composed entirely of accounts collected by field agents. SCP-2171-1-004 Location: LOI-2171-03 Miguel Servet Park, Huesca, Spain. No anomalous flora detected. Language: Entity speaks in Fabla, regional Aragonian dialect.
Never heard of that language.
Message: It's so nice, so peaceful here. I'd like to stay here for a while, if you don't mind, sweetie. Go to your mother. Entity description: Instance manifests along a seat. Instance sits for a minute, then appears to fall forward, making the windrow advance in the process. A smaller silent instance manifests alongside the first, kneeling beside it and interacting with it. Original instance reforms. SCP-2171-1-019 Location: LOI-2171-009 Shores of Lake Tissa, Ortabaji National Park, Hungary. Anomalous flora includes several orchid species, with kinesthetic black flowers, and highly allergenic, needle-like stamens connected to sacs of a volatile substance that acts as propellant. Kinesthetic means
what? They have like some kind of natural gas propellant to move them forward too. Okay.
Capacity for non-growth plant movements towards moving objects. Language: Entity speaks in Old Hungarian. Message: Oh, I love it when they dance. Entity description: Instance resembles a young man aiming and shooting with bow and arrow while walking backwards, apparently attacking the windrow.
Are these like echoes or like memories or something from people who have died and like in these forests, and like these anomalies remember and they somehow like keep playing out, and like what is happening? I don't know. This is strange.
SCP-2171-1-020 Location: LOI-2171-013 Abruzzo National Park, Italy. Anomalous flora includes cupressaceae trees that tend to root in circular groups of 3 to 20 instances. Trunks grow extremely rapidly in mesh-forming net-like patterns, which result in large, structurally stable cylindrical arrangements. Structures produced this way decay when the involved trees die, leaving large superstructures of quickly petrified wood that measure up to 300 meters before reducing rate of growth to normal levels. These structures possess windows, balconies, gates, and stairs arranged in regular positions. Language: Entity speaks in Etruscan. Message: they will pierce the skies. They will be the sole testament to our greatness under that strange sky of yours. Entity description: Instance holds what appears to be a large scroll and several unidentified instruments. SCP-2171-1-055.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like, again, it's some kind of like echo or memory of someone who might have died, and the trees are like mimicking them or playing it out or something. Like I don't understand.
Location: LOI 2171-011. An elevation close to Lake McDonald, Glacier National Park, United States. Anomalous flora includes a terrestrial Nufer species with
Like, is it a situation where like these individuals like planted these trees or something like that, and so they've like imprinted on them, and at different points in their life they like somehow observed these people doing these things and then imprinted these echo, like I don't know, like, but it just seems like there's some kind of memories. And I mean, you know, supposedly, what is it, a botanist? You know, I'm not a botanist in any kind of, I don't know, like much more than the basic understanding of, you know, plants and stuff like that. But I know there are certain, you know, funguses that are giant colonies that can be considered kind of almost like a hive mind, or like massive aspen forests are actually kind of like one giant entity that can stretch for, you know, miles, apparently, stuff like that. So like, is that what this is here? Are these like some kind of anomalous plant life that, you know, stretches out through different areas around the world, and they somehow are, yeah, recording these memories? Is this like some kind of history of the world? Like, I don't know.
with a highly reflective material covering the inside of its petals. Petals open during nights with moonlight. Language: Entity speaks in American English. Message: you are so beautiful, my sweet little chica. Like a little midnight rose. Like a blood and green opal. Instant remains silent for 10 to 13 seconds. I will miss you when you're gone. Entity description: Instance appears to be laying down on its windrow, looking at its right side. Immediately after vocalized message, Instance moves an arm to the right side and seems to caress an unseen item. SCP-2171-1-071. Location: LOI 2171-090.
A nasty looking
Lone
tree.
dead oak in the prison field of Germany. Oak generates dried leaves every autumn. Language: Entity speaks in a language resembling Mozarabic. Message: I loved him. I loved him. Why did he go away? Why? Why did he have to go away? I don't care about the world. I only care about him. Why did he have to go to the other court? You are his friend. He will listen. Please go fetch him, Miguel. Please, bring him back to me. Entity description: Instance cries for 10 to 13 minutes, vocalizing message during the last 53 seconds of the cycle. SCP-2171-1-105. Location: Entity detected when Agent accidentally interacted with its windrow during a night raid on the suspected residence of one Miguel Servato, person of interest. Agent withdrew to the perimeter of the area, from where Instance delivered the following message. Area reclassified LOI 2171-139. Part of the forest within the Ordesa-Yamonte Perdido National Park, Spain. LOI currently undergoing botanical analysis. Language: Entity speaks at what was later identified as low palation. Message: we always feel cold, now that the sun is gone. Cold under the rain and the shade and the snow. We will never go back home. We don't belong. We don't sing. We don't clap. Our voice is strong. Our mouths shut. We drank daylight, but it was San. He left us crumbled and snapped like brittle bone. we drop and rot and end eaten by insects, filth and worms, stepped on. So there may be a next fall, but heed me. You I came to warn, let us bring to your land our master's own. Entity description. Entity repeated message from this point onward. Agent
Weird.
withdrew further from area.
So, I mean, that's the first one that seems like it's actually, from these stories, it's actually communicating with someone, a member of the SCP, who, like, accidentally interacted with it. And it seems to, again, almost, it seems like it's talking about a cycle of life and death where it remembers, you know, falling off the trees, being eaten by insects, stepped on by humans, and then it knows there'll be another fall where it's gonna, you know, become part of the tree again, I guess, and this is gonna happen again. And then something about their master coming. I don't know. This is interesting. But it sounds like they were created by something. So again, that leads me back to wonder, like, is this some kind of something that was left over by the Fae or something like that? You know, that's the only thing that I can really kind of think of.
Once she was certain that Entity would not respond to her attempts at communication. SCP-2171-1-107. Location: Entity detected during a raid on LOI 2171-139. CTF Row 6, Green Gale, deployed after a previous raid on Cerbato's hiding place was called off due to the presence of a number of SCP-2171 instances. Language: Entity speaks in what would later identify as Hypolation. Message: Emotions, Miguel. Emotions are a link, a tie, a chain. We have to be strong enough to use them as such when necessary, and to discard them when they tie us down. For the example's sake, imagine you have to tear a continent apart from the others, make them slide away, sailing over the ocean of clouds. How would you pry them open and separate them? Entity remains silent for 3 seconds. With hatred. And how would you bring them together? Entity remains silent for 13 seconds, then smiles. Very good, child. Entity description. Entity wears clothing similar to what seems to be traditional Palatian teachers. For further information on the Palatian schools, contact the Archive Sector of Area 08, Incunabula Analysis Group.
Alright, well, there you go. There you go. That was SCP-2171 Autumn Shepherds Humanoids Composed of Leaves Who Protect the Trees by the East Side Show SCP. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to make of that one, other than it seems like they almost kind of like were repeating memories of things that have happened, whether it was like people that have done certain things that the trees witnessed, and they were just kind of like repeating like echoes of something that happened, although then the one that actually interacted with the SCP Foundation member gave him some kind of speech about, you know, being aware of falling leaves and being eaten by insects and stepped on, and, you know, there's going to be new falls and heed the warning of their master. So like, I don't know what all that means. It seems like it would be connected to something, but I don't know what it could be connected else to, other than, I guess, potentially something left over from the Fae. The only other thing that I could think of is maybe they have some kind of connection to the Bigfoot species, the Children of the Night, just because they were talking about the connections of emotions. But I think the Bigfoot species, their stuff wasn't necessarily about emotions. It was them communicating like through dreams. So I don't know, maybe there is some kind of like off connection with them, but I don't know, it's interesting. And also the fact that a byproduct of these things being in the areas, they create like crystals. I don't know, strange, very strange. But yeah, links below, as always, to the Eastside Show SCP channel and to the original video without my commentary and reaction. So if you enjoyed this video as we went through it, go give it a like. And if you enjoy the Eastside Show SCP's content, you know, be sure to hit that sub button if you're not already subscribed to them. If you'd like to join us when I do these reactions live, there is a join button underneath the video, as well as a link in the description to the YouTube membership benefits tiers that I offer. Love to have you guys come in and hang out and join us as we do these reactions. So yeah, check those out, see if that might have any interest for you. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider leaving a like and a sub. It helps me and the channel grow. See you on the next one.